Okay, on.
Okay. Hi, so we are back. Thank you so much for being so patient with us. We really, really appreciate your love and also for all of you here to be here. Some of you have been here as early as 20 minutes. I'm going to say hi to Tree Yang, I think, and there's something called Divanan, strangers here. Yes, thank you so much for being here. And I also saw a lot of questions coming in, very enthusiastic crowd. So before we start, so let's go about what is ETU. So basically, ETU, we held it at every last Friday of the month, and it's a hybrid talk show. So we have people who are online right now, and you guys are so active in the chat box. Really love it. And we also have our physical audience here. Physical audience, can you make some noise? Woo! Thank you so much. So, and what we do at ETU here is actually we help talk show to feature people as successful in following their heart and creating their career based on their passions, such as this person who's sitting next to me. We're going to fire all the questions to her. She's very nervous, very concerned now. Okay, I will introduce our guest speaker shortly. So just for your information, APU actually, as mentioned, bringing passionate people to the talk show so you can listen to their story, ask away all your questions and get their expertise. Okay, at the same time, also we want to inspire you to be the best version of yourself and you yourself start exploring your own passion. Okay, ETU is brought to you by ETIS, a social business incubator, and to empower people and transform people from within to follow their heart and create their career based on their passion itself. And for your information, to ETU is also supporting PMDK. If you have been following us throughout the whole of ETU, you know what is PMDK by now, I guess. PMDK is a NGO that empower students together going for different school trips actually and also help bring entrepreneurship and financial literacy to every student out there. They have been going on and on together with the senders and ETIs. Even I went on a trip together and it was so fun. So we are also supporting their cause and our youth. So coming back to EPU. I hope you. How are you feeling? I was good until I felt like there was 20 minutes. Someone there waiting for 20 minutes before EPU started. I was like, what are they going to ask me? What are they going to ask me? So that's where I started getting nervous. So, okay. The person who arrived 20 minutes earlier, I think a monologue. I think at the moment, now he has some questions for you. Okay. So let's introduce Ramya. Ramya actually has a very special gift to introduce who Rammyasheiny is, our special guest today. So I hope you can enjoy. So that is who Rammyasheiny guest speaker is. I was so honored to see this video. It's like thank you to the ETU team for putting like years of work into one video. It's like wow, that was nice to see the video. Okay, I know we did mention all the years of work. We tried to squeeze in 1 minute and it's so interesting, you know, we're trying to pick up which of the photos that you're going to put in to show what does a publicist do. So a publicist does, and as you have seen, all the superstars you have seen, such as Shira, Harsha, Sanat, all these people who has been popping up in all the medias and Bernama News Channel, oh my goodness, so many medias actually featured all of these your favorite superstars is because there's somebody, the mastermind behind. And Ramya is something that I know as somebody who's my go-to person, especially if I need help to communicate better. So everyone, you think that communication comes easily, like it's using your mouth maybe. So what is communication to you? You can type in the chat box what does communication mean to you, because today's title is about art of communication. So what does communication mean to you? So I'm going to ask the first question to Ramya. What is communication mean to you?
So such a very broad question. Okay, I guess when if you want to Google it, you'll find a lot of definitions. But I think personally for me, like maybe going through the process of how I communicate with people, I think for me personally, it's the process of putting myself in someone else's shoes. I know it's very weird, but I think that's how I look at communication. It's how I put myself in someone else's shoes in the sense that whenever I'm communicating, I put myself in their shoes. So I think that is my term.
Okay, so not literally going to wear someone else's
No.
No. So seeing things from someone else's kind of perspective. Yeah. Perspective. That's hard. There are so many people on the phone who do that. Okay, I'm going to read out some of your comments here. Okay, tell us what this communication means to you. Okay, and if you have any questions, of course, please do write down in the comment itself. And those who are in the physical audience, if you have any questions, you can also type because I know you're on the YouTube too. If not, you can just tell us out loud what is your question. Okay, Ramya, somebody says communication means interaction between two people. Only two people.
I think that's more like interpersonal, but I think there's so many girls we really go through this.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically that person is not wrong.
Yes, that person is not wrong. Okay, thank you so much, Tri Ying, for your answers actually. And so my next question to you, Ramya. It's I found it very intriguing that many people, for example, I'm a full-time artist, I'm also a professional MC, so it's something that artist is something that working with art. It's easy to see that talent. It's easy to see, this is something that I really like. Okay, for example, another person likes acting. So it's easy to see this person like acting. Another person like singing. It's easy to see that this is their talent, this is their passion and stuff like that. And coming back to communication, how do you know communication is something that you are strong at, is your special talent?
I never knew that. And to be honest, even until today, I still don't know. It's just like other people who tells me, or my mentor or somebody like that. So, but the only thing I know is I like the field. I like the industry. I like the field. I like, for example, communication is also associated with things like media. So I like those things. So I guess that's just the passion part. But if you want to say how I know I'm good at it, like how you say athlete or artist or something, I don't know much. So until someone else says, hey, that you're pretty good at it or something like that.
Okay. So I'm going to read that then. Kira says that communication is getting your point across in a way that everyone agrees with you. So it's a question. That's cute. Okay. Can I bring us back because you are in this field for 10 years? 11, wow. So you're in this field of doing media and publicity, and so you're CEO of PT Boost for almost 10 years and stuff, and you started off in diploma of
yeah, so my studies was a diploma in mass communication, and I further my study in bachelor in journalism, and now I'm doing my PhD in communications.
So how did you started off your career? Let's listen to
career or studies.
Yeah, let's start with studies first.
Okay, fine. Studies. I have to go way back when I was 17. So way back when I was 17, I think the whole thing is like I think everybody goes to this SPM. So and sort of like the situation became alive. It's a very scary moment. But at that point in time, I think I did not do very well with SPM currently. I thought I know it's like you feel so sad. To be very honest, even cried at that point in time. So, oh my god, I did so bad for SPM. But then I think one of the different things that happened for me was my mother actually asked me, okay, what do you want to do?
And I thought that that question to be thrown to any youngster is very, very important. At that point in time, when you are lost, it's nice to be asked, what would you like to do? So I was very, very fortunate to have that support, and I said that I want to be a writer, and it was so weird because I not have published anything, so I had no backup or anything like that. So, but my mother, she brought me around to like check out some courses and things like that, and eventually I really enjoyed this field called mass communication because it also can do with writing, but it was more than that. It was like expressing what you want to say, like message and information, and there's a lot of things in mass communication itself. So that's how I started. I liked it, and then I wanted to know more about journalism, and that was the whole concept of like seeing, can I know the truth behind something? So that's how I actually pursued my bachelor, and I went into from ET News eventually as an online channel and media house. Yeah. So that's the whole process. Please do ask me some detailed questions. I just like going into general, of course, detailed questions are coming. Okay, since you mentioned the last thing as well, it's actually a very interesting journey. So you started off somewhere. You started off wanting to write a book. Yeah. Wanting to write a book. After that, you moving on, you go into journalism, and then after that, now you're furthering your studies and all. And at the same time, you also going this video production company, and it's a media house called ET News. And I thought ET News is so interesting because one thing is your tagline is bringing perception. Okay, can you tell us a little bit more? I would say that when we formed ET News, the whole concept was to see if we can create a platform for the young. I think there's a lot of different avenues, different publications, different platforms, and so on. In terms of media and what we read, what we listen to, and what we watch, in terms of we want to talk about politics, crime, and all these things already, like everybody is covering these kind of things out there. But I think the question that we came about when we wanted to form ET News is the fact that what do youngsters want to watch, what do youngsters want to listen to? So it was those kind of questions. So that's when we thought that okay, we can form something that resonates with youngsters, where youngsters can give us, the youngsters can say, hey, I'm interested in this and I want to put this content out there. Maybe the youngster that's doing something so amazing, like even we take SNS. So when SNS came into the picture, it was so nice to see that we can create content for SNS and other like-minded youngsters like that. So it's like successful youngsters who's doing so much at a very young age. Why people don't want to see this kind of things? Why is this not something that is in mainstream media example? Yeah. So I think that's something that we wanted to do in ET News, and I'm happy to be able to do that with actual.
It's amazing actually. So I dug up some of the pictures and and some of the pictures about ET News especially. And recently, the one of the things I mentioned even in the past ET talk show is the one that successful award-winning documentary produced by ET News that is featured in the Rammyasheiny channel. Let's say, and the people that produced the movie, the documentary, is as young as 15 years old. Yeah, 15 years old.
Production team.
Yeah, 19 years old. This is so young.
But that's exactly what we wanted to do if we don't give that opportunity. And then I feel that when they grow up, they will still be curious if this is something that they want to do. But I think we are very blessed that SNS is doing what we are doing in terms of working with the young. So then, from my experience and people's experience is very much in production media. So that's what we focus on. So people who's fascinated with that, people who wants to explore that, we can work with them even as young as sometimes 8 years old, 9 years old.
Yes, I know the stories. A child as young as 8 years old producing video for companies.
So it's nice. I mean, let's be honest. The era has changed. The generation has changed.
Yeah.
They are so much more advanced. So who's to tell that they can't do something? Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm mentioning about all these youngsters because many of our audience and registered people in Pakistan, especially those online, those are here, many of you are students. Many of you are actually youngsters and you're here asking about how do I do this, how do I do that? I saw a lot of questions about videos too. So can I just ask you a quick question, especially like for 8 years old or those are 15, 14 years old? how do they start off working with videos for one? I need to produce different kinds of videos. Do they need a special training in certain areas?
Okay, first and foremost, please find ascendants. That's the first thing. Because if you don't go through ascendants, it's very hard for you to work in ADs. I'll be honest with you. Because I think ascendants creates a very, very nice foundation. It's a building you as a person, building your character and so on. And that is something that you would really, really need to have before you work, not only in ADs, but anywhere else. Like if you want to learn the other skills, you need to learn your base of characters first. So once you have gone through that, so a lot of the people that is the youngsters in use is actually apprentices from SMS.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think you might be learning more on how they can be apprentices or what.
Yeah.
But once they come to that, usually we'll ask them to see which softwares or which platform they are most comfortable with. So I think now there's like what CapCut, there's Filmora, there's like lots of
InShot.
yeah, InShot and things. So we start with something that they're most familiar with first, and then eventually they level up to other softwares and joining the team for shoots and things like that. So example, the person that you mentioned, the 15-year-old boy who was part of the award-winning documentary, Hunted. So he didn't just start by coming to that particular shoot.
Yeah.
He was already with us for I lost count how many years, 3-4 years, and he's been following us around. So eventually, that when we had the opportunity to have a shoot, we invited him and said, okay, would you like to join? And he was so excited. So that's how it happened. So the I guess of changes don't come just like that. It's because you have been showing your dedication, your character, things like that. But really, really start with ascendants. If you're a youngster that's below 18 years old, go to ascendants because that really opens up your mind to what is, and then egos comes into the picture for those who's passionate about egos.
Speaking of this, stay tuned with us. We will announce how you can join later on. Just stay tuned with us. Okay. Like you're saying that art communication is something so wide. We have medias. So one big just now you mentioned, I think videos and stuff like that is actually communicating to the mass.
Yes.
Masses. So now I'm going into the detailed question. Finally, you're here. So before we start communicating to the masses, right, we have our daily people who we are communicating with. For example, working in a team, working with your bosses, working with your family members, or your best friend, your friends, and things like that. Everyone has a different background, a different perception of how things are. So how do we have it's a very general question. So how do we have an effective communication with the people closer to us?
That's the hardest. I think it's because we know them so much that we have this kind of expectation that it's like, why you cannot understand me? Those kind of things, So I think the closest is the most difficult.
I have an example. Okay. Okay. I give you an example. You have
Okay.
Okay. So I have a very nice friend who we have very different perspectives. So I see myself as speaking a person who likes to just say things very straightforwardly. So one of the days my friends texted me and said, hey, do you want to go walk in the park? So in my head, the message that I deciphered was, I'm fat. The second message, exercise. Oh no, I'm gonna sweat. So I tell her, no, I don't want. But the thing is, weeks later, we kind of had a little bit of misunderstanding and stuff like that. And weeks later, what happened was I found out that that's not what she meant. She actually wanted to spend time. So I said, why can't you just tell me I want to spend time with you? I want to go walk in the park. I want to exercise with you. So I couldn't understand why not you. Just tell me straightforward. Okay, so I pass this. Let's go.
I think in terms of effective communication, I'd say with regards to your closest one, yes, like I said, it is the hardest because you just have expectations with regards to the person that you communicate with. That's one. But I think generally and things like that, this is what I do. I cannot speak for others, but this is what I do. Maybe I can conclude it something. I can go a bit technical, guys. So do let me know the way to technical and things like that. So this is what I do. I feel like everyone has this thing when they come out with like, you have your own set of perception, and perception very much ties down to your experiences That means you have these many years of existence, so you have certain experiences. So that forms your perception. So I feel that everyone has this, you everybody has this. That's one. And the other part is like you have a set of programming. So example, you are being brought up this way. So it could be your family, it could be your environment. So it's all these kind of things. So I feel like everyone, including me and you, we have these feelings. We have perception, we have experiences, we have our own programming. So how I try do my best now to have an effective communication. It's not that I get 100%. It's not a grading system. It's not every conversation is like pass 100%. It's not that. But what I do my best to have when I'm having a conversation is I sort of like exit my three things: the first experience, perception, and programming, and I go into the other person's experience, perception, and programming. When I'm talking about that.
It sounds like a bad face. Changing soul, that's what you meant.
Something like that.
Please explain.
So this is what I do. It's not an easy thing, but I think over time through practice and things like that, it gets better. Okay? So it's like example, if I'm talking to you. Okay. So if I'm talking to you, I try to get to know you a little bit better by understanding it's like, okay, what's your programming like? So it's like how were you during childhood?
So what's programming?
Okay, programming like what I mentioned earlier is how you're being brought up.
Okay.
Like what kind of values you have when you're being brought up.
Okay.
What kind of environment you were being brought up with. So even like you talk about city and kampong, this is also different already. So it could be anything at all. So it's those kind of things. So I try to understand you a little bit better, like where are you coming from, like what's your programming like, and then I try to find out a little bit more like what are some of the experiences you've gone through, like maybe what have you studied before, what have you done before, all these kind of things, and tie it back to I want to know exactly what's your perception. I need to talk to you, and that way I'll find out a little bit about your perception. So when I do that, eventually I'm getting to know more into the three things that I mentioned, so that I speak to you in that way. So I know like what you mentioned, right? I cannot go very puta with you.
Yeah. I can't read between the lines.
Yeah, so but that takes me years to understand you because it's like I know you for quite some time. So I know that if I want to ask you, I just ask you direct. Something like that. But I can't do the same way with someone else. Okay? Yeah. So if I'm going to speak to someone else, then I need to understand the three layers for them. So it's just that because it's been happening for years, so I do it faster. That's how I would say I have an effective communication to say what I want to say as effective as possible, but at the same time to be a good listener to answer what the other person wants to say back to me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I understand that it can be like oh my god, what did I listen to this class kind of thing. But to be very honest, I think that is what I mean by taking myself and putting into someone else's shoes.
Okay. So is this the first step of having an effective communication? So putting yourself in someone else's shoes. It sounds easy, but it's not. It's not at all. It's not at all. To understand someone else's tree, which is programming, experiences, and perception, it's not easy at all. So if I want to start doing this, what do you tell me to do first?
Breathe. I have breathing. I know as simple as it sounds, I think breathing is harder than putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
Okay,
Because a lot of times when I'm tense or something like that, I tend to I have very heavy breathing and things like that. And my mentor used to oftentimes tell me, breathe. And I exactly what you said. I answered the same thing back to him. I am breathing. So what do you mean? But I don't breathe. Yeah, so I am breathing. But he will say something like, take deep breaths. Take slow, deep breaths. That's what he will say. Okay. So, but I do my best to apply it, and eventually I realized that I feel much calmer. I think one of the things that I realized is sometimes when I'm going through very tense situations and I'm not okay, first thing is I cannot think.
yeah.
So by me taking deep breaths, I realized that I'm more calmer to see the situation that I'm going through before.
Excuse me for a moment. I really want to see how you can demonstrate.
Oh no! I mean, it costs like some scenario here or something.
I mean, we don't have actors and do a scenario, right? So because sometimes when you are too excited, right? Okay, too excited, you're emotional, especially when you're angry, you're talking and then you have snorts in your nose, so you can't hear shit. So, but you are trying to take a deep breath. Or that breath sounds like. So what is deep breath?
My goodness, it's so weird. I've never done for this before. But literally, when I go work out, we think is the person who does fitness for a lot of those CT ideas, and she'll be like, I think she was doing something like 4 counts. So it's like you're breathing, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like you release that same count.
I'm real.
So something like that. That's what breathing kind of does
Very
as well.
slow.
Yeah, it's like so because if you breathe fast, like 1, 2, let's say that is you're done with breathing. So it's like when you take the slow deep breath and you release it, it's one. So it's like, but if you cannot do that one time, just because I say deep breath, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, done.
Yeah, I'm just doing it because I'm saying it.
But if you do it continuously, especially when you feel like you are not okay, and things like just take deep breath. It's something like I would say it's a time out, okay, something like that. Like you know things, that conversation is too tense, too intense. You are arguing, the other person is arguing. It's like nobody's getting deeper
Because of the different programming perception and experience.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Okay, so why deep breath?
Why deep breath? For me, it makes me calmer. And this is something that I learned from my mentor because when I can't breathe, it associates a lot. I think there's like a scientific reason. I may not be good at explaining this, but for me, I realized that when I can take deep breaths, I can think better, I can engage my intellect better. So that is for me. But I would like to tell all of you audience who's watching physically online to try it out. Okay? To try it out and tell me that why you feel that sounds problem. Because if you do apply it, it helps. But if you start judging why I was deep breath, how does it work? All these things, then it's not going to work for you.
So practical first thing,
Yeah. So because I did not get much explanation for myself when I started. But my mentor, that's what I was encouraged to do. But eventually I realized that that is something that's so important for me, and I do my best every time in conversations, and I don't really get it. There's disagreements or something. Difference really.
Okay, I need your help to decipher another thing.
Okay. Why I feel like I'm saying some investigation.
Okay, but you investigate. I will give you the problem.
Okay.
You investigate. So basically, just now you mentioned that you take deep breath. For you to communicate well, is for you to first step is to take deep breath and engage your intellect. For me, intellect. I'm not answering for anyone else, but if you have the same mindset, you probably have the same experience presented. So, intellect maybe means like knowledge that I get from books, knowledge that I read from internet and stuff like that. The effective communication, this all the very theory and technical part. Okay, what do you mean by engaging the intellect?
Okay, for me, intellect is the way you think. Okay. Okay, so it's not about you have so much knowledge or anything like that, but at the point of time when you're going through something or anything at all, are you able to think? So it's like think meaning I would associate it like something that we learn a lot in ETIs is this thing called SIP. For me, SIP is something that I really apply and really do my best. But what SIP has taught me and connecting this back to the way to think is the fact that what am I supposed to learn from this situation? Okay? So it's like, example, the situation is happening in front of me, so what am I supposed to learn from it? So if an argument is happening in front of you, and whatever scenario it is, like what am I supposed to learn out of this scenario? So that is something that I like it's something that is worth asking. It's worth asking.
But don't ask the question externally. It's so weird, guys. Like the argument is going before it is like, what am I
It's not that. It's not that. It's like as you take the deep breath and you need the time out and things like that, and you know you ask that question and you see if you're getting to realize that something is supposed to happen and things like that.
Okay, for example, going back to the situation that I shared with you earlier about the cats going to the park, so whether I'm fat or whether I should exercise. So one of it, just now we show about SIT, right? I'm just sharing it in my stories too. So when that happened, my first normal reaction is from PIS, physical. I saw that thing, I saw the message, and I wonder, my emotional stuff is, oh, I'm fat, so I am offended. The intellect normal there. Yeah, it's normal there. And how does it go? So it creates that miscommunication in that one line message. And because of that, you don't talk for 1 week.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? And but when I get to come down, okay, I'm also from India, so my mentor also taught me to breathe and things like that. So when I started asking that question, actually what am I supposed to learn also? And what I found out was, oh, people have different perception and ways of talking.
Yeah.
Not everyone is gonna be the way how you talk or how when you, for example, the words vegetable, what comes to your mind? Probably, what comes to your mind? Green, okay, it's potato. Corn. Yes. So everybody has a different thoughts. Yes, tomato when it comes to vegetables, right? So it's the same thing when I'm communicating with my friends, students. Then I understand, there are different ways of people talking. And how am I understanding the information is also different because I think things on surface value, not digging deeper and see what's going on. So, but that whole experience, knowing that doesn't mean that I do that, I'm able to understand
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
It's still very tough. So what do I do then?
Okay. I think like I've mentioned earlier, it goes back to application. The reason being is because if you knowing whatever like we are discussing today and not doing it is still not going to get the results.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like example is like in a situation, you feel tense, take deep breaths and see how it turns out to be. At the same time, it's like a different situation. It's like going into someone else's shoes. It's like understanding that, hey, you know what? They have their own way of thinking. They have their own perception. They come from a different programming. They have different set of experiences, and understanding that eventually lets you have. I think the word is compassion. Because if not, to be very honest, on an everyday basis, everybody you meet, you can judge them. It's so easy.
Yes,
It's just so easy. They walk like this also, it's like, why people move like that? It's just so easy. Everybody, like, they flip their hair, they're also it's like you can say so many things about anybody that you just come across. But if you don't see from their point of view, you will continue going through judging people. But there's nothing. How do I say this? There's no common ground to anything. So I personally feel when there's so much of judging going on and there's no solution and it keeps going on like that, I think the whole situation actually sabotages yourself and backfires on yourself because you cannot do your work. You're so busy judging everyone. You're so busy getting upset with people that even if you want to do your work, you're so bothered by so many things. So I feel understanding the other person's point of view actually gives so much peace to yourself. That's my solution. It's just so much more. You are such a happier person.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're just like everybody fight, let's fight.
But it sounds like I'm losing.
Yeah, at that point of time, I mean, it's a totally different topic to be very honest.
It's like if you feel like in a conversation and you feel like, hey, I need to understand what I'm supposed to learn from these and things like that, and then you feel like, hey, why am I the only one who's realizing this? Why the person don't realize what they're supposed to learn from it? Something like that. But this is what I usually tell when I'm talking to people. I say that I think we had a conversation recently about that, and I literally told Caroline something like, you choose if you want to win the battle or you want to win the war. So if you want to win the battle, you right now you just study level with everyone. You can fight with anyone. There is any conversation also it's like I disagree with you. You can keep on going in that zone. But in a long run, that exact same person that you disagree with might be the closest people that you need to work with. So you have a problem in the long run. So I would like to focus on the war. I want to win the war. I don't want to win the small battles. So this one, to be very honest, is something that my mentor have told me plenty of times. So I rather do that than looking at like, okay, flip the hair. I don't want to fight. I don't want to do that. So I would like to see that there's so much more than disagreement with each other than focusing on goal-oriented things like how do we explore this particular industry or this particular field, how do we do this? And I realized I can't do this, I can do this alone. I need another person, so how do I work with this person to get this done? Those kind of things. I think that is more like a war than with the person is like, why did you do this? That's like
And you win that small battle.
yeah, you feel good. You will feel so damn good. I'll be honest with you. You will feel so good to win the battles.
Yeah.
Because it's like you see an immediate result. It's like you win today the conversation, you see the result. It's like that person might be like, okay, you move on and everything. So you feel so good because you already saw the results immediately. But in the long run, it doesn't work. Yeah. So for those people, I think you mentioned that some of them were asking things like, how do I work in a team and things like that. So I think it really goes back and relates to that particular question as well. If you want to work in a team, you really need to see the other person's perspective. Because there's times that we are giving ideas. So the question is, are you listening?
What's your intention?
Yeah, what's your intention?
Working together, goals.
Yeah. So to be very honest, it's like again I say it's very broad. With situations, it's actually kind of helpful. So if there's any questions from audiences or anything, then feel free because I can go a bit more specific or something.
And speaking of that,
Okay,
there is two questions that
okay.
we informed the audience. One is from Tulip Sky, so hi, nice name. And another one is from Yalini. So yeah, I'll take the question from Yalini first. This topic is asking you, what do you feel after you breathe? How do you know when to stop taking deep breaths?
Oh, okay. Very good
For
question.
your information, Yalini is only 7 years old.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. When do you know when to stop it? I would say don't stop. Because if you can get there, it's already so good. It's like so good because you are much calmer and you can think better. So if you already can consistently take deep breaths, you are doing so much better than so many others. To be very honest. And so I would say don't stop. That's number one. What was the other question?
What do you feel?
What do I feel? Okay, what do I feel? For some weird reason, it starts connecting to me from the other person's point of view. Like, probably they see this because of this thing. Like, probably they scold me because of this thing. Probably they seem so upset at me because of this thing. Actually, then I came to realize that they're not upset at me. Something happened before they met me. It's those kind of things. So I think that my mother used to say these kind of things, giving the other person the benefit of the doubt. That means instead of you chop them and see that this person is like this, giving the person the benefit of the doubt to say that maybe this happened before 1 hour ago, and that's why you're behaving this way.
maybe this happened 3 months ago, and that's why they're debating this way. Maybe this happened 3 years ago, and that's why they're debating this way. It's also possible, guys. There are a lot of things that happen in people's life that can shape perceptions and experiences. Okay, I'm going to continue my story. Again, the story about the park and iPad. Okay, the next half of it basically is very related to what you mentioned. When I think back, maybe what this person saying is because of this, but actually got nothing to do. But at the end of that whole conversation that we wrote, I already consulted my friends and said that. Earlier we were saying feeling that you're losing out and things like that. But actually, I felt I not say I won against it. I felt enlightened. I felt lighter because I get to understand my friendship on a deeper level. And what this person is actually trying to tell me is you need to take a break. You have been working too hard. That's all that the other person is trying to tell me also. And it has nothing to do with fat or something. It has nothing to do with that. So, how I say it? It's a nice thing to have this kind of ability to communicate well and begin to the one that's suffering. Okay. I'm going to pick up another question. It's actually from so many questions coming in. Yes, keep coming in. So, so to this guy, you can say, hey, I would like to ask, what do I do to stop awkwardness while trying to have a conversation with other people?
Who is this again? To this guy. Oh, this guy. Okay, to this guy, you're a Gen Z. Please, I'm so sorry to say this, but please go back to SMS. Because I think different generation really comes with different sets of characters, and being awkward there's nothing wrong. It's really nothing wrong. There's so many times that I think as an adult we are also awkward in certain conversation and everything. So I think sometimes it's like exposure, it's meeting more people and things like that. And if you're someone who's a young person, a youngster, SNS really opens up your mind in your ability to actually interact and communicate with other people, because you are bound to work with different people from different schools, different areas, different languages, it's like different personalities. So it's very normal. Literally, I think SNS has this thing called game nights. I was very fascinated. It's like game nights, and they taught so many lessons in a game night. It's like apart from playing games, you are forced to compete with your team. You lose the game.
Yeah.
So those kind of things. So after some time, you don't feel so much of awkwardness, and it becomes a bit natural. You get to practice. Yeah. And again, if you're adult, I'll tell the same thing. Come and join us and come with them for different activities that they have. It's like you will see, even though if you tell me I'm good at communicating, if you put me with the youngster that SNS brought us, like how to engage this person? Again, I have to think. So it's again different set of challenges and different things. But I think me, for the longest time, me working with SNS has taught me so many things. So it's either way. I don't have a particular method. I wouldn't say I have a particular method. For me, it's I can share from my experiences. My experiences is going to different events. ETLs have so many events. ETU is a nice place to meet people. So it's like if you can come here physically, for those people from KL and Selangor, you can see different groups of people. You have literally entrepreneurs in this room and so many amazing people. So after some time, when you get to know the person so well, you don't feel so awkward.
Yeah, that's really amazing also. Like mentioning about how you mentioned ETU just now, right? I hope you guys actually get a glimpse of the video earlier. Rama is actually the first host of ETU and not as a guest speaker, so you never know when you'll be the guest speaker, so people come for ETU. Okay, so then we have a bit more time. I'm going to take one last question. Is there any question from the floor? Okay, no. Okay, so we are processing the three perceptions and all, and processing breath and all the other things that are mentioned. Because I'm processing two at the same time, talking at the same time. So okay, this question coming from Sharanya, I think it's quite similar to the earlier question asking about how do we be less awkward. But Sharanya is talking about how do I maintain eye contact when I'm feeling very nervous.
My God, this is so technical questions. My God, I'm like, how do I answer this? I'm really not a lecturer. So under pressure.
Not your PhD comment.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think I'm the best person to answer this question because it's really about techniques and how do you come out of that because not everyone can have a comfortable eye contact with people. I totally understand because I've even seen people like that. So it's totally fine. But I think I would say don't be too pressured that you have to do. Just go with whatever that you feel comfortable with. If you're too pressured with having a eye contact with someone, you are going to be just staring at the person there, but words may not even come out because you're so focused. I must have eye contact with this person. It's going to be so scary that you're just staring someone down kind of thing. So I think don't be too pressured. Just go with whatever that you're comfortable with and so on. Without you knowing, you might already be having eye contact with the person. But if you're so focused that I'm not having eye contact with the person, I think that itself is going to like sort of spoil the way you're talking to the person. Because it's so under pressure.
Yeah, your intention is supposed to be
Yeah.
something else become I'm having
Yeah, so I feel it's too much pressure. Even if me, it's like you're telling me I'm not having eye contact with someone, so I'm going to stare at all of y'all for a while. But I'm losing track of what am I talking. I'm really losing track of what I'm talking because I'm so focused on like, okay, I'm really losing eye contact, calling you here. So you know those
Yes. Okay. Sorry. So Shania, I hope we answered.
Yeah,
you
you
answered your
do
question.
not feel pressure for things like this. I think you're doing fine.
Yeah, you're doing fine. If you want to have more exposure again, coming back to this, if you want to have more exposure also, please do come to all of attendance events and things like that. We will
Ascendance, ETI, yes, CTIs have so many awesome events that happens that you can connect with people. If you really want to take it, you can take that as a practice ground, network and connect and speak to people and we are very friendly people. So if you don't want to talk to us, we'll come to you and we'll talk to you. So you're also not doing this. So that kind of happens with people. So yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the things that we mentioned just now about brain, about SIE, the spirit, intellect, emotion and physical, and how do you respond to situation? How do you put yourself in other person's shoes? No judgment, no comparison. It sounds very easy, right? But it's not as easy as you think it is. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own experience. So we actually have a program that. Actually, Rami and I also been to the program actually, and it's called Be at Your Best program. It's a bio-stability program that helps you to transform yourself looking at what is your programming, what is your perception, what is your experiences, and how do you understand yourself and help you to achieve your goal in 7 areas of your life. Your happiness, your health, and how much this is for adults, so how much you want to earn and stuff like that. So you get into that gear itself. So if you would like to join, if you would like to inquire more about this program, we have our spokesperson, which I will invite shortly to be in front to just tell you a little bit more about what is our program is about. This is for our physical audience especially, and for online audience, don't worry about it. We will drop the number of this person in the chat box, so you will be able to contact this person straight. And for you who are students, a lot of you are students and a lot of you are from the GYC competition, thank you so much for being here. And this is one of the great step that you have taken towards your goal. You're trying to learn what is art of communication, how to communicate better with your teammates, how to understand other people's perception, perspective, and how do you get towards geared towards creating your videos or competition and things like that. So congratulations, good job. I can't see you clap, but please clap for yourself. So for you guys here, most of you here know who is excited. You've been traveling to all your schools and you have been seeing them online too. If you want to join Ascendance as Ascendance apprenticeship, you can apply for it, and there will be like an interview or seeing whether you just hang out and chill as basically, they are very nice people. That's one. And so what happens in the apprenticeship also, the person in charge will also mention to you how do you go about. So every few months you actually get to experience different things. So if you want to
you don't experience how the art of communication, like I mentioned, art of communication is so huge. There's so many things around that we're sharing about also just now. It's so wide. But put yourself in different situations. In different situations, you get to learn different things. You get to experience different ways of communicating with people. So that's communicating one way. There's a lot of other skills inside too. So that I will let you explore on your own. So we will put the contact person's number also in the chat, and you can contact Rammyasheiny, which is the person in charge, to get the form and apply for the abstinence apprenticeship. Okay, so we are actually at the end of our course. So what is your last but not least, tagline or words?
So under everyone here. Now I'm under. I think like whatever that I mentioned earlier and things like that, there's no better way to start than just taking the deep breath and seeing from the other point of view. And I think this one, someone told me before, it's like every time you're communicating with someone and you feel like it's going downhill, it's like it's not working out fine and things like that. Ask yourself the question, like, what's the intention of this relationship? It could be friendship, it could be family, it could be anything else. Like, what is the intention of this relationship with that person? So, and if you, and the intention is for you to make it work, then take everything you can, do everything you can to make it work. But at that point of time, you realize that, no, I cannot be, I don't want to make it work, I'm out, then it's okay. But if majority of your time you're saying that I want to make this work, then you need to do whatever it takes to make it work, which includes things like, for me, I can speak for myself, it's up to you if you want to try this out. For me, it's breathing, taking a deep breath, thinking what am I supposed to learn from this scenario, and looking at the other point of view from the other person. So it's like example like what I mentioned, what is the perception, what is the experiences, what is the experience. And that whole process, I concluded, and that is the online communication.
Thank you so much, Ramya, for the conclusion of the video. Okay, for those who want to know more about Ramya, you can follow her on Instagram, or you follow us, we will tag her, you can follow her. So on Instagram, you can also, take a picture of yourself, or take a picture, a screenshot that you're watching this, and also tag us on your stories on Instagram too, @et_youth. And you can also join us on Telegram group, because we normally open special seats up. We open we open seats firstly in our Telegram group. So we have physical audience here. We also have online audience here. And the physical show is actually very limited space. So if you want to be here physically and get to mingle with many people who are following their heart and making their passion into career, do come our physical show in Kota Kemuning, Selangor. If you can't, don't worry about it. Join us online. It's still as much fun. So join our Telegram group. That's all from this. Thank you so much, Rammyasheiny. And thank you everyone here.